What's the first thing to go when you decide, I'm not being superficial? Is it height? Is it looks? Is it his thing size? What's the first to go when a woman's like, that's not that important, or that's not my type?
The first thing to go when you're talking about something not being your type, that doesn't really matter that much, it would be height. It would be height. I feel like, we're stuck on aesthetics. We think about height because we think about the NBA player. We think about the basketball player. But what about how many times have women ran into, and this is how we get fooled. We run into the guy who's 6 foot something, right? And you be like, what do you do? And he's like, I'm a janitor. Now you're instantly turned off because your type is no longer fitting in the box and checking off everything that you thought he should check off. You're 6 foot what? And you're the janitor? Imagine this fine man mopping up schools. Like, you're like, wait a minute, hold on. That's not, can I look past what he does for a living and just date him because he looks so good? I feel like this. I can't be ashamed of my man and what he does for a living. I can't be ashamed of where he lives if he's going to be my man. I can't be ashamed of what he doesn't have or where he falls short if he's going to be my man. So I have to be confident in when I say this is my type, because opposites attract. And I think when more women went for less of their type, they wouldn't be single.
That's true.
And that doesn't mean, please do not mistaken when I'm saying this, for settling. Oh, well, I'm not going to settle. I could find him. I use height because this is what all women care about. Like, you understand what I'm saying? The average woman wants a tall, handsome man. Tall, dark, and handsome, right? Whether he's a white man, because when you refer to a white man, tall, dark, and handsome, it's because he has dirty, dark hair. You understand what I'm saying? So, that's the man. But then, look at Kevin, right? The comedian. His wife is taller than him.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And in your mind, you're like, he should be dating a Carucci. Somebody who's small like him and all of those things. But that's not his type. Yeah. His type is a taller woman who he feels like it doesn't make him feel like less of a man because she's bigger than him. But a lot of men would make you feel like that we might be shutting ourselves out as women because we don't really know what men like, right? But I feel like I'd automatically cut myself off of that list of his type if I was taller than him. I would automatically count myself out and say I can't be his type because, I usually go for a bigger guy because I'm a thick girl. You know what I'm saying? And I would like to think that I wouldn't be his type because I'm bigger than him. But you know what I attract? The slim guys. Super, super slim, or guys that are shorter than me. Love it. They must love a challenge or something because that's the ones I attract. The tall guys, I attract them too, but they don't be on me as hard. It's usually the guys who are a little shorter than me, and I'd be like, is it okay if I wear my heels tonight? They'd be like, put on the tallest, the highest heel you got, baby girl. Please do not dim your light because you're walking in with me. And I be the one a little self-conscious, like, I don't want to look down on you. I'm just going to wear my boots. Like, don't worry about it, But my type has changed from the age of 6, when I was 16, I don't think I was so much looking for looks. I was looking for the guy who had control. Like,
well, before you change it,
yeah.
I just want to give you the statistics. In the U.S. population, about 14.5% of all men are 6 feet and over. 14.5%.
That's not a lot. So you're saying the average man, not even average, 14% of men are 5'10".
14.5% of all men in the U.S. are over 6 feet tall.
14.5% of men are 6 feet and over in the U.S. So that's not leaving a lot of tall men for the women. And then you got to think about when we think NBA players, only 1% go to the NBA. And there's some short basketball players too. You know what I mean? They're recruiting more than ever now. You know what I mean? When you meet these basketball players, they're 5'7", 5'8". Because they have the skill. So now apply that to your relationship, right? Apply that to when you're looking for your type. The NBA, yes, they would love to have a bunch of 6 foot Russian Chinese men on the basketball team, right? But they're gonna take they're gonna take your 5'7", 5'8" because they come with the skill. They may become even more skillful become more skillful than the 6 foot, 6'7", whatever height basketball player that you feel like, oh yeah, because he has this height, he can dunk on them. Because he has this height, he's gonna win the game. But the 5'7", 5'8", he got more skill than the 6 foot something guy. So I feel like when you are looking for your type, you need to check off other boxes besides heights and look. I definitely think that women should start taking accountability for why they're single. You know, does your type play a part in when you date and finding a soulmate? And does that attribute to why you're still single? You know, I think about my type when I was 16, my type when I was 21, and my type in my 20s. You know what I mean? And it's definitely changed. The guy I was checking for when I was 16, it wasn't so much looks. It was more so the power. The guy who was the captain of the football team. The guy who made all the shots at the basketball games. You know, the guy who all the girls wanted. That power. Yeah. You know, it wasn't so much. He could have been ugly. But I would have never noticed that he was ugly because he had this power about him, which made him attractive, which was my type.
Okay.
My type was, I was not attracted to a weak man. Well, a weak boy.
Okay.
I was attracted to someone who I felt like demanded attention in a room as if I did. Mm-hmm. And then when I got in my 20s, my type was the bad boy. And he wasn't probably always that attractive too. I went through a light skin phase. You know, I went through this phase of like, I liked them. They had to be light and bright and light skinned, and they might not have been that attractive, but as long as they were light skinned, I liked them. So that was my type, but they didn't treat me that well. They cheated. They weren't loyal. They weren't any of those things, right? So now, here I am dating, right, as an older woman, and the guy that I'm giving most of my attention to and my love to and my like, he's my height.
Okay. And
the majority of when I think about my type, right? I just had this conversation with him the other day. My type is tall, 6-pack, all of that. Mm-hmm. And I told him he's my type, and the only thing I would change, if I could change it, would be his height. Because now my type consumes of more than aesthetics.
Right.
My type is he financially savvy? Does he remember things that I may forget? Does he remember things I think he doesn't remember? Does he remember to ask me how my day is, how it's going? Just the important things of cultivating me into the woman that he wants. Because I think what happens is women, y'all gonna hate me for this. I think that women need to allow men to lead them into being the woman of their dreams. Mm. Yeah, like you need that guidance. And I'm in a space in my life where a lot of my friends around me are getting married. And tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who your future is, right? And so, not saying I don't have single homegirls, because I do, but a majority of my friends are either in the process of either getting married, just got married, or now ready to hang up their player card and look for a husband.
Okay.
So that is the dynamic that I am in the circle of, right? And when it comes to any woman that I know has successfully landed a ring on her finger, she has allowed her man to lead her into being his dream girl. So while you were his girlfriend, it was cool to be yourself and show him who you are, right? But now you are trying to be this man's everything. And to be his everything, you have to know how his brain works, and he has to allow you and let you in to show you, these are the things that I like that I might not have told you while you were my girlfriend, because I didn't feel like they were that important. I didn't feel like you could handle the load of what it really means to be my everything, to be my dream girl. Because his dream girl may be the girl who understands on Fridays he just doesn't want to talk. He wants to go in his man cave, not be bothered on Fridays, and not be nagged as to why. And so I think a lot of men are afraid. A lot of marriages and relationships don't last because men are afraid to articulate this to their woman, because it would come off as I'm trying to change you. And it's not trying to change you. I think you should want to change for the person you want to be with. So again, this is just a tip for single. I ain't single, so and this is just coming from a person who know how to keep a man. You got to let a man lead you. This just goes back to the narrative of saying, okay, hey, he's gonna let me be me. He's gonna let me love him the best way I know how. But for the relationship to really, really work, you guys have to teach each other how to love each other. It's just like you got to teach somebody how to treat you. So this just stems back to a lot of women, why they're like, why am I single? Why do I not still have a man?
Holiday, do you think it's like a lot of women don't trust their men?
Absolutely. Yo, let me tell you something. A lot of women do not trust their men, even if they've never caught him lying to them.
Really?
It's something that is pre-programmed into us the moment we let our guard down and say we love you. We don't trust you. We don't trust you, even though we want to trust you with our heart. I'm going to speak for myself. I've been with somebody for almost 4 years, and it took the fourth year for me to finally trust this person with my heart, and to finally say to this person, I believe that you won't lead me into a freaking brick wall. I believe that you will be so delicate with my feelings and my heart that whatever decisions you make in your life moving forward, the moment we say that we're going to do this, that you always think about how it's going to affect me. I think that's when you found, one, your person. And two, I think a lot of women are going to be more trustworthy when it comes to their men. But men don't know how to teach us. Men don't know how to show us trust.
Have men lost, in all honesty, their leadership skills, or have women taken that from them?
I don't think men have lost their leadership skills, and I don't think a woman can lead a household. I think she can assist. I think she can be executive producer and creative director, but I don't think she can be the producer. I don't think that an adequate functioning household, you need that male testosterone to run that house. If not, you will be walking over him like you walk on eggshells. It would just be cracking and just making a big mess. I think it sucks because it's like, I was watching somebody talk about how if they could, their woman would never have to clean or cook. Like, why would you want your woman to clean or cook, right? If you can afford to have a cleaning person so your woman's not tired when you come home, she's available to serve you in any way that you need her possibly to. Why would you not provide these small things that so-called make a good woman? Like, what about if you took the time to say, if men made it okay to say, okay, you don't have to come with these prerequisites because I'm going to lead you. And we're going to whether I'm going to teach you how to cook or I'm going to get you some cooking lessons. I'm going to train you to be the woman that I desire. I think that men, y'all got to take accountability too. But women, because we're talking about our women, because this is for y'all have to be more willing to allow a man to lead.
I agree with that. But it's a problem.
It's a problem because we're watching social media. We're listening to so much rap music. We're listening to so much stuff that's clouded our judgment to think like, I'm this boss bitch. And because I'm getting money, because I run my own, I'm the CEO of my own lip gloss line. I'm the CEO of my own eyelashes. I'm the CEO of this and that and that and that. That now when I get with a man, he got to know that he dealing with a boss. That's cute. When you in your 9 to 5, when you at work, when you running your business, when you have your employees that you cut your checks to, run them. When you come home, you need to learn how to there's two hats. When you have a successful relationship, I'm teaching your son how to keep a man, right? There's two hats you need to wear. There's the boss hat, and you can boss those people around. When you come into this household, he is the boss. And you now need to learn how to take that hat off and submit, where you are now allowing him to, again, be the executive producer. So any great movie, you need the other people to make the movie great. He's not saying F you. He's not saying he doesn't need you as a co-pilot. You know what I'm saying? I can't fly this plane without you.
Speaking of bosses, right? We just saw this. Clip, which was interesting. This guy says the average entrepreneur makes $38,000 a year. But statistically, we're looking at somewhere from Zippia.com. It says the bottom 10% of entrepreneurs make $42,000 a year, and the top 10% make $118,000 a year. So an entrepreneur makes between $42,000 and $110,000 a year. Mm-hmm. So in title, maybe she's like, I'm a boss, I'm doing what I want to do, and then she's flexing on her man, in opposed to what I always say, working with him. Because the money's coming to the house.
I think a lot of it's just crazy again, because what I think is a lot of women are usually operating from a me standpoint. Mm-hmm. I just had this conversation with the guy I'm dating, and I said, all my life, I don't have any kids. I've never lived with anybody, and I'm the baby. I've never had to share. I've never had to worry about taking care of anybody else when I decided to move out of my house, but me. Making sure I'm good. Even being in relationships, living on my own, I've never had to depend on a man unless I wanted to. Meaning, I'm going to spend the night at your house, but I'm going to go back home to mine. And so when you finally get into this relationship, baby, it's not easy to do teamwork. It's not easy to be on a team when you're used to me. I think instead of women taking pole dancing classes and all these other classes that they have, sip and pain and all this, I think they should invest their time in team skill building classes. I think a lot of women would find a man. I think a lot of women would be more successful in their relationships if they knew how to be on a team. Even if you work a 9-to-5, right? You know, the 9-to-5 girl, she might be a little better off versus the entrepreneur, the girl who's screaming, I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'm a boss. You know why the 9-to-5 girl is probably more likely to be in a relationship than the entrepreneur? Because she understands teamwork. She understands chain of command. She understands this is the boss. I'm the employee. I have a task to do, and I've been shown how to do it. Let me get to work. Versus an entrepreneur is trying to create their own infrastructure, which either is going to soar or it's gonna fucking fail. And it's the same thing with relationships. The only reason that I feel like men are more successful at team building, like they learn this from young, playing with blocks together. Even when they go into construction jobs, like most jobs, men know how to work together more than women do, because they close out all the other stuff that does not matter. They do not care about anything that does not add to what they're doing. I wish women, we automatically were trained that way. I don't know what gift that came from God that gave men that, but I wish that women had the same attribute to understand, let's block out all the noise. If we block out all the noise, you'd probably be friends with a lot of other females, because you're worried about the wrong thing, except for worrying about the common denominator. And I think that's why men are successful amongst groups, right? And then when they get into relationships, they're looking for the woman who they don't got to explain this stuff to. It's like almost like a job. If I'm coming to work on time and I'm doing the job beyond your expectations, I deserve a promotion, right? So the same thing with the relationship. It's like the man is coming in, he's doing all the things, he's treating you good, he's staying, he's on your body. He's doing everything you want him to do. You can't catch on to those skills and saying, okay, let me tighten up and let me make sure that I can match what he's doing so I can get my promotion. Yo, the most successful relationships are where I'm at. Like, women have this mind frame of like, I don't need a man. Like, I don't know where you live at. I don't know where they exist or who they are, but I need a man. I need a man. Like, you know what it's like to live. I know what it's like to be single and be dating and have something break in your house, or need curtains put up, or need a sofa moved, or whatever the case may be, and you gotta call John down the hallway, who's always staring at you when you go get your mail. Like, you don't really want to call him. It feels good to have a man around to do manly things, but as soon as you lock that man in, his hammer is no more important to you. Him hanging curtains is no more important to you. The value lessens now. Like, ladies, I know y'all don't like being single. Like, I don't like being single. I don't want to change the topic, right? But I think a lot of women tell themselves that they're okay with being single just so they can fit in the box with the other single women's. And instead of like I'm okay with being single so you can have a bunch of single friends. That's all you're gonna have is a bunch of single homegirls. Like, out of my group of friends, out of my 10 friends, there's probably 2 are single, and they don't want to be single. They can say, "Oh, I'm cool with it," you know what I mean? And it's only because they've had just bad taste and bad whatever with men, but they really don't want to be single. So if you don't want to be single, then you need to start surrounding yourself around things that attract men who want to be in relationships. I feel like that's another thing. Like, women are attracting the wrong man because they doing the wrong things. They hanging out with the wrong girls. If you hanging out with Shaquana, who's in the club twerking and doing splits on the couch and whatever, and you want the man to walk up to you and say, "Oh, you look good morning, queen. You look beautiful. Let me give you some roses." He's not looking at you like a queen. He's looking at you like a good time. Versus the girl who's saying, "Listen, I'm looking for a man, so I'm gonna carry myself just in case he's watching me."